What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Sunday watch list. This week the setups look amazing. It is going to be the start of the second quarter, and earnings will be towards the mid of April. So, beginning of April, we have a lot of potential. I'm going to be looking to capitalize on the opportunities this week and the setups this week. So, if there's a week to put on sizing, maybe this week for me personally, right? Just based off of what I'm seeing and how I will trade and manage my risk. But if you guys watched last week's watch list, just literally caption on point relief bounce before another drop. What did we get last week? We have got a relief bounce before another drop. Literally Monday to Friday, relief bounce before that next drop. So I hope you guys are taking notes on this, guys. I hope you guys are learning a lot from these watch lists and actually trying to like see how I'm doing my analysis first and foremost, right? Going into this week's watch list, okay? Like I said, I always like to start on a higher time frame. Okay, let's start off with SPY first of all. SPY on Friday, actually midweek, we formed this evening star, right? If you guys don't know what an evening star is, looks like this. And it is a bearish candlestick. Anything I see on a higher time frame is always going to be a lot stronger. It just may take a little bit longer to play out. And I know that since I'm looking at it on a higher time frame, there's a couple ways to trade this. I like some type of halfway pullback before instead of just buying puts all the way at the bottom. Because if the next candle pulls back, you're not getting the best entry and you're risking a lot more, especially if it's a daily time frame. So for example, here, look at this evening star here on day is this Wednesday, right? We formed the evening star on the daily. I see that. I'm like, okay, I don't want to buy puts all the way down here. It just wouldn't make sense. Like so some type of pullback, the nearest resistance was like that 571. Took the rejection off 571. And the next day, next few days, we get that huge sell-off. But overall, this is just the like you gotta see we have to start looking at things from a higher time frame perspective, right? On the weekly chart, the overall trend has reversed, and we had this double top. Left, right. The neckline was right here. What ended up happening? We just came back to retest that neckline at 575 and that weekly 9 EMA. So now what kind of candlestick pattern do you guys see on this weekly chart? Right? It is a bearish engulfing on a weekly chart. It is a higher time frame chart pattern. So what does that mean? It may take longer to play out, but it could give us a bigger move. And maybe it makes more sense if I wait for some type of pullback like halfway before, shorting this. Maybe like some type of rejection at the nearest resistance, like this 565 level, or now we narrow it down to a smaller time frame. Smaller time frame, right? Pretty large candle here too. I'd probably want some pullback if we don't open up, depending on where we open up at. We could open up down here at 550. That's the next main target. That 550 is our next main target. Um, Nearest key level, guys, was this 560 to like 558 area, right? That was a big level of support here that we finally broke on Friday. I'll be looking for retests and rejections off of this level to catch it back down to 550. That will be an amazing trade that I will look for this week. If that plays out, amazing risk reward. I'll be willing to put some size on that trade if it presents itself. Okay, so for the upside, not too interested. I mean, if we reclaim 560, probably go around 565 and 570. But I mean, for upside, not interested unless we really get above that 575, 576. That will open up the door higher. Like I said, that was just the neckline retest. Huge bear flag, called out puts up here, swung this down. 550 is next, and if we keep going lower below 550, I mean, really got nothing but room to 540. But of course, there'll be levels in between. But you could see that 540 is the next major area. Maybe like a 545 will be that level in between. There's a nice resistance here. So below 550, 545, and 540, it looks great. It's just how are you going to manage your risk to this? Where am I going to look for entry points? I'll be looking at that 559 area. If we get a more of aggressive bounce, probably like 565. I don't see us getting there, but it's another area I could take a look at. That's maybe an area of interest. As far as economic data this week, guys, PMI Monday, 6:45 a.m. Tuesday, 7 a.m. news. Thursday, nothing much. Joe initial jobless claims Thursday. But Friday, the first Friday of every month is non-farm payrolls. Typically do have a big reaction off of that. Definitely important to be aware of that one. Okay, overall technicals look amazing though for lower. QQQ, let's go with QQQ. QQQ also had a bear flag. Double bottom neckline was like at this 500 area. I kind of wanted to see that rejection off five. I would have slammed puts off 500 on QQ, but we did come to like that daily 200 SMA and failed to get above it. 492 area rejected, and here we are back at this recent low. Essentially, this is a high, a low, lower high, and if we break this lower low at 466, I mean we got nothing but room to like 460, and really like 455 and 450, but the main target would probably be 450. These would just be targets in between. It looks good, but how am I gonna chase puts all the way down here, you know? I need a level to have a break and retest. I need a stop loss, you know. I need to know where if this level breaks and it gets back above it, I need to get out. I don't want to just short here. And what if I take puts down here and then it ends up going all the way up here? You know, it's like you got to think like that. You got to think of your next five moves, you know? You can't just think one move ahead. You got to think two, three moves ahead of potential scenarios that can happen. You can't think everything's guaranteed because there are like those scenarios where, you know, it could break, it could reclaim, and then it reclaims, and if you don't stop out, next thing you know, it's at 480. Now you're stuck holding it, and it's like, you know, you gotta know if I'm gonna take a break and retest the 466, I want it to break, retest, stay below that level, give me room to 460. If it gets back above 466, I get out and I reposition myself. I protect my capital. I protect my mental capital. I'm not gonna get stuck with that position. You know, it's just bad risk management. So if I don't want to, I'll be looking for that 466 break and retest room lower, or where's my nearest key level that we just broke? Probably like this 472 area, 473. That was a big support here. That was a nice structure there. If we retest that, I could use that level as a stop loss as well. If we retest that, entry, stop loss right above, take the move down. You know, just follow the trend, lower high, lower low. That'd be beautiful. If we get the pullback there, A plus. That's what I said. This week, I'm willing to put on some size. The market could always open up lower based off the strength. So the swatches can change, you know. If we open up down here, it's a little bit of a different game plan. So we have to, you know, that's thinking a couple moves ahead. And that's how you should be thinking when creating a watch list. Because what if pre-market opens up here? What if it opens up here? What if pre-market is down here already? Well, in that case scenario, I'm already thinking of my next five moves of, okay, if it opens down here, what level would I look at here? So some people don't prepare like that. And if you do prepare like that, you're taking it serious. You're overachieving at this point. You know, you're not staying average. You know what I'm saying? So but I should probably talk to you guys more like this in these Sunday watches because this is a reality of what comes with it, you know? Instead of just like this level, this level, this level, watch this. And not like this is kind of like a lesson in a way as well. So I'll probably like mix mix this in with these watches as well. Now, individual names, guys, I really like let's go one by one and I'll tell you guys my favorite ones. Let's go start off with Apple overall. A lot of these names are relatively weak as well. So when a lot of the individual names are relatively weak, it also just confirms that we may get that move lower on the overall market. Let's find Q. But there's so many setups that it's like, all right, I can't catch all of them, you know? So I have to focus and narrow my list down to which one looks the best. Overall, Apple just rejected again here. Not my favorite one, but it does have room to like 210. Weekly chart, we got a shooting star. I'll look for like retest of 220 on Apple for a rejection, right? That was kind of like a low double top right here on Apple too. Double top and failure to hold. 220 was a key support back here. Key support back here. Now we're below it. What does it turn into? Resistance. I could take the rejection there. Literally a risk reward on this would look like this. If I take the rejection there and then my target's that recent low, these are the type of setups we look for. This looks absolutely beautiful. Um, Great setup on Apple. So that's what I would look for on Apple. Next up is Meta. Meta is also really looks really good on the higher time frame. Weekly chart, very bearish. Pretty much engulfed the whole last week's candle. We are at a key level of support, which was his recent low, and the daily 200 SMA at 575. Maybe some type of pullback first before it drops, though. Maybe like like 580, 589. But below this 575, 574 area, Meta's got room to 560 and even 550. About a $20 drop from where we're currently at. So it looks good. It doesn't look too bad. Probably be using that 580 to 575 level as a break and retest area. So something like this. break, retest, move lower. And this would be my risk reward on a scenario like this. Right, with time, I'm looking at these setups on a higher time frames, guys. You guys, when you look at these setups on a higher time frame, it's the overall bigger move. It's the overall bigger picture. Then you have the levels down. Now on the smaller time frames, you use those levels and look at the candlesticks on those time frames to try to get confirmation for entry. So that's how it goes. That's the process behind it. Microsoft also very weak. I called Microsoft puts all the way up here. Why? Higher time frame. I was on the monthly chart, seeing two back-to-back shooting stars on the monthly chart. What do I expect? And look at the next 2 months. Next 2 months are very, very bearish, right? Weekly chart. We had that head and shoulders on a weekly. It's a higher time frame chart pattern. It's gonna take a lot longer to play out. Bigger moves though. You see it's 440 to 478. Here we are breaking down. We have a bearish engulfing on Microsoft as well. Below this recent low of 377, Microsoft has nothing but room to 367. This setup I do like a lot. I'll be looking for a rejection around maybe like this 385. Really gotta narrow this down. Like 385. Preferably the break and retest of 377. I think that's a much cleaner level. Literally nothing but room to 370. This setup has room. So this setup I like a little bit more. It's about a $10 drop. It's about a $10 drop from here. I really, really like this setup. Definitely top watch for me. Microsoft is definitely top watch. Amazon approaching recent lows as well. A lot of names are just taking out their most recent low, which is going to give us a bigger drop. So hopefully it doesn't play out already in the pre-market. But we shall see. Overall, NVIDIA I made about 4K on Friday. Took a break and retest of that 113 level as we started, getting back on this downtrend. Very weak. Weekly time frame was what I was really looking at. Right now we have an evening star on the weekly. That next level is 105 really, and then 100 psychological. So how can I trade NVIDIA? Probably won't be. I probably like Microsoft a little bit better, but any pullbacks that stay below this 4-hour 9 EMA, I can just use that as my guide to catch it down to 105. Doesn't look too bad. 113 key level. Doesn't look too bad, but I see better. Now Google looks amazing actually. I haven't traded Google that much this year, but Google, crazy drop on it. Weekly just looks like this thing wants to, go to 150. 160 is the nearest resistance. It's kind of far away from it right now, so I don't know if I'll see a pullback that far. The recent low back here was like 156. I'll be looking at 156, maybe 160 reject. So a little uncertain on the, let's see, 160. It's a long way up. It's very weak right now, so I don't know if we'll get that far of a pullback. Overall, I see us having room to 150, but I probably need to see a cleaner pullback so I can get entry. So maybe Google may not be top watch, but it looks good though. AMD, right? Failure to hold above this resistance here. Right, already working our way back down to 96, 100 level. Probably would be next. Not my top watch either, but PayPal is actually one I don't trade that much. Smaller accounts though, if you guys want a good setup. 67 rejection. Watch a 67 reject for room back down to the 65, and then below that it's probably like 62 area. So small accounts, this could be good for small accounts. Tesla. Okay, so far I really like Microsoft, Meta, and Apple. So if I were to put them in order, probably like Microsoft, Apple. First Microsoft, then Apple. Tesla. All it takes is one of these setups, guys. All it would take is one of these setups that you really study to avoid taking like a bunch of different, because I can't trade all these. I'm not gonna catch all of them. But as long as I catch one that I like the most, that would probably make me my money for the week. Tesla, we caught a rally to 300. Now we have a shooting star, still below the weekly 9 EMA. Weekly 200s at 250. So that 250 is going to be critical. Watch that 250. If we fail it, we're going back down to these recent lows at 220, 217. Okay. Rejection areas here. Really, I just watch a break and hold below 250. Tesla's going to sell off to 220. This looks amazing. Below 220, if it takes out that recent low, um, if it takes out that recent low, I mean 200, yeah, Tesla got run to 200. So this setup looks amazing as well, as long as it gets below 250. If it starts to hold it, I'd be a little bit precautious on it. Okay. it is a bounce level, so we'd want to see some type, just as long as you stay below 280, watch it for room to 250. Below 250, recent lows. That's a good setup. Now, another good setup I see, this will probably be the last one before I wrap this up, is going to be Netflix. Netflix, failure to make a higher high above this 1,000 level. Huge rejection at 1,000. Just textbook, as textbook as it gets. 953 is another key level. This was before the gap fill, right? Gap held, tried holding here, that 953. We broke below it. I'll be looking for a retest of that 953 and room to these recent lows, 920, 900. So it's about almost be a $50 drop from if we retest that 950. Essentially just reversal, right? I want to pull back, catch the lower high, move lower. That's gonna be it today. That's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. Like, comment, let me know what you guys think of this type of style of Sunday watches, and if you guys want to see more of these type of videos. Other than that, though, I hope you guys have a great trading week, manage risk, and stay updated in the channels. Peace.